stuff. How you doing? Okie dokie. It's time to rise and shine, people. It's time to get up. You're wasting daylight. It's another day on top of the ground. And the ground's not on top of you. I'd say that's a good reason to celebrate this day. What say you? I'm pretty good. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions 2.0. Why do we call it that? Because everything we do requires us to make a decision. And even if we decide not to make the decision, well, we just made one. So get up. Let's talk about whatever's on your mind this morning. If there's nothing on your mind, let me put something on your mind, okay? But next up, of course, it is our daily bread. Again, it is a day that has never been. And it is a day, believe it or not, that won't ever come again. It is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. And once it's over, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and undo all the things that you do this day. And you certainly don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, the 16th day of July, 2025, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done this day. And again, it's one more day on top of the ground. And the ground's not on top of you. I think that's pretty good. Good morning to you. Next up, our daily bread.
Never measure God's unlimited power by your limited expectations. Our daily bread. Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by C.P. Hia. Iguazu Falls on the border of Brazil and Argentina is a spectacular waterfall system of 275 falls along 2.7 kilometers of the Iguazu River. Etched on a wall on the Brazilian side of the falls are the words of Psalm 93:4. Mightier than the thunders of many waters, mightier than the waves of the sea, the Lord on high is mighty. Below it are these words, God is always greater than all of our troubles. The writer of Psalm 93, who penned its words during the time that kings reigned, knew that God is the ultimate king over all. The Lord reigns, he wrote. Your throne was established long ago. You are from all eternity. No matter how high the floods or waves, the Lord remains greater than them all. The roar of a waterfall is truly majestic, but it is quite a different matter to be in the water hurtling toward the falls. That may be the situation you're in today. Physical, financial, or relational problems loom even larger, and you feel like you're about to go over the falls. In such situations, the Christian has someone to turn to. He is the Lord, who Ephesians 3:20 says, is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, for he is greater than all our troubles.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is Psalm 93. The Lord reigns. He is robed in majesty. The Lord is robed in majesty and armed with strength. Indeed, the world is established, firm and secure. Your throne was established long ago. You are from all eternity. The seas have lifted up, Lord. The seas have lifted up their voice. The seas have lifted up their pounding waves. Mightier than the thunder of the great waters, mightier than the breakers of the sea, the Lord on high is mighty. Your statutes, Lord, stand firm. Holiness adorns your house for endless days. Psalm 93 is today's scripture reading.
Lord, we know that you are powerful and greater than anything we might face today. We rest in your strength and your love for us, and we know that you will carry us through. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries. Never measure God's unlimited power by your limited expectations. Our Daily Bread. Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by C.P. Hia. Iguazu Falls on the border of Brazil and Argentina is a spectacular waterfall system of 275 falls along 2.7 kilometers of the Iguazu River. Etched on a wall on the Brazilian side of the falls are the words of Psalm 93:4. Mightier than the thunders of many waters, mightier than the waves of the sea. The Lord on high is mighty. Below it are these words: God is always greater than all of our troubles. The writer of Psalm 93, who penned its words during the time that kings reigned, knew that God is the ultimate king over all. The Lord reigns, he wrote. Your throne was established long ago. You are from all eternity. No matter how high the floods or waves, the Lord remains greater than them all. The roar of a waterfall is truly majestic, but it is quite a different matter to be in the water hurtling toward the falls. That may be the situation you're in today. Physical, financial, or relational problems loom even larger, and you feel like you're about to go over the falls. In such situations, the Christian has someone to turn to. He is the Lord, who Ephesians 3:20 says, is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, for he is greater than all our troubles.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is Psalm 93. The Lord reigns. He is robed in majesty. The Lord is robed in majesty and armed with strength. Indeed, the world is established, firm and secure. Your throne was established long ago. You are from all eternity. The seas have lifted up, Lord. The seas have lifted up their voice. The seas have lifted up their pounding waves. Mightier than the thunder of the great waters, mightier than the breakers of the sea, the Lord on high is mighty. Your statutes, Lord, stand firm. Holiness adorns your house for endless days. Psalm 93 is today's scripture reading.
Lord, we know that you are powerful and greater than anything we might face today. We rest in your strength and your love for us, and we know that you will carry us through. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, I just gave y'all an extra dose today just in case you needed that.
Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
All right, time for the general now. Okay, let's time for PT, and then we'll get that, and we'll be back.
Here we go, all the way.
Time to rise and shine.
Rough and tough. Airborne, every day. We run to the sun. No sweat, not yet. Down in the mess hall on my knees.
Come on now.
We got nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Not true.
The bread
was moldy and
was bad.
Not really.
Well,
You know darn well
that you can't eat that. Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go, all the way. Gotta be rough and tough. Airborne, all the way. When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
Come on now. I'm the rise inside your daylight. Just turn on the lights around there. Nah. Slow morning driving
Early one morning in the drizzling
rain, well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane.
Jump master said 1 minute
what a day.
to go. Green light lit with a chilling glow. all the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving on, driving on, driving on, all the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving on, driving on, driving on. Here we go, all the way,
all the way.
Gotta be rough and tough,
tough.
airborne,
Airborne,
airborne.
all the way. Anyway, good morning to all you guys this morning. It is is it Wednesday? I think is it Wednesday? What day is today? I know it's the 16th, but I'm not exactly sure what day it is. The days go by so fast. What's my watch say here? I gotta watch it. What does it say? The day is the day is Wednesday. Oh, let me make sure. I think it's Wednesday. Well, it don't tell me what day it is. It's the 16th, so I think it's Wednesday. I think it is Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. Well, all that technology and I can't figure what day it is. Well, it's a day above ground rather than the ground being above me. So, regardless of what the day of the week is, yeah, I'm pretty good with what's going on right now. I'm still alive on it. Anyway, good morning to you, man. I tell you what, I'm feeling pretty good. I was watching a movie last night, and I forgot, was it called For All Mankind or something like that? And it was to come to where we came from as a people in America. Um, it's an amazing thing, the things that people have done, and it's also amazing the things that people who did it. A lot of people never got the credit for it. Um, I don't know if it's I don't know how important getting credit is. I know when you work your butt off for something and you make sure people uh, reach their given goal, I think you do deserve some accolades. But I was just thinking about, there was a movie that came on a few weeks on what's it, Hidden Figures, and that movie was about, and there was one about some male carriers in World War II, black women, and Hidden Figures were about the black women who, see, that's why I don't take women for granted anymore, because women, and I know I'm this goes against my normal kind of position I take, but I actually think women by nature are more intellectual than men, but they're more emotional too, which means that it sort of clouds that intellect sometimes, but I think women, and if you think about history in this country, some of the great accomplishments that have been done by people, um, a lot of those people have been women, men too, but women. I don't think we probably wouldn't have made it to space. Um, and I know that when what's it, Armstrong and all those guys, what's it, Apollo 13, Apollo 11, whichever one it was, when they got out there and walked on the moon. Now there are some people that say we didn't really walk on the moon. Now that's what they say. They say it was a Hollywood stunt. Okay, listen. You can have your thoughts. This is America, and everybody's entitled to think whatever it is that they want to think. Okay, they can do that. They can do that. Really, they can. They can do that. I don't happen to think that we didn't. I don't happen to think that we didn't walk on the moon. I mean, that was a lot of money spent for a Hollywood stunt. You know what I'm saying? Now the question that I had asked all these years: why did we walk on the moon? Just so we could do it? Just so we could say we did it first? I don't know. And I thought the cosmonauts got there before we did, but evidently America, and thanks to John F. Kennedy, who at one of his speeches, I think it was at Cape Canaveral, one of those places, said we are going in the next decade. This decade we are going to put a man on the moon, and doggone if we didn't do it. At least I think we did. Now again, there are people who think we didn't do it. I'm not in that camp. I'm in a camp that says, yeah, I think we did. I mean, where did all this technology come from? Where did it come from? So I'm good. I think that, but it is an amazing thing that when this nation puts their heads together, when we put our heads together, when we want to accomplish something, we can do it. And the hard thing I got, of course, there are some things in this nation we want to put together we shouldn't mess with. I mean, like girls being boys, things like that nature. That goes against the good Lord's will. But other than that, Americans, I'll put it this way, I really believe. Now we haven't, they haven't always done everything right in this country. There's no doubt about it. But is there anybody out there that cannot say that for the most part, if it were not for America, a lot of things in this world would not look the same. The geography of countries in this world would not be what they are had not America got involved. If we were not, think about it, if we were not here. I just want to think about it for a second. If there was no America, or whatever this place we call America, United States of America, if we did not exist, we would have a different environment. See, I'm probably speaking Japanese right about now. Oh, whatever, something like that. I probably wouldn't be speaking English. Well, now I'd probably be over in Africa. So if it were not, though, and that's the only asterisk. That is the only asterisk that will forever be associated with America in a negative way. So it is quite something to think about, that because of this nation. Now we also do some things that I think sometimes just not very well. I don't think we actually fight wars the way we ought to fight them. We ought to fight them to win them, not just to send people someplace and say we're here to help. No, we're here to win. If you're going to put my child's and other people's child's life in harm's way, then it ought to be for the win, okay, and not the ceremonial win, but the win. So I don't know. I was just looking at that movie last night, and it just got me to thinking about we as a nation. We've done. Here's a question: have we as a nation done a whole lot more good than we've done bad? To me, I'd say we did a lot good. But we don't know all the bad. We don't know all the bad we may have done. We don't know. We just don't know. There are many things that we've done that most of us don't know we've done. Okay, and not so good. We've got in bed with dictators because it suited our purpose. I don't know if there's ever a good time to do that, but we've done it. We got in bed with Saddam Hussein. We got in bed with Muammar Gaddafi. We got in bed with a lot of people, and we replaced them with our own puppets, and we've done that. And there's no doubt about it, because the theory is the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that's been our modus operandi. Since World War I. Most people in this country don't know the United States and Russia were allies in World War II, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But they were allies. Then most of the young folks today, they just think that America and Russia has always been fighting against each other. And we haven't. Again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Anyway, good morning to you. I'm feeling pretty good today. Life is good. The good Lord woke me up this morning. And I'm feeling pretty good for an old fart. Feeling pretty good. I wish everybody's feeling the way I was. Okay, except a couple days ago when I ate burritos. You probably don't want to feel like that. But I learned I shouldn't eat burritos. That's what I learned. Okay, and then I want to say good morning to Z. I know he's out there in Fort Leonard, Missouri this morning, going through basic training. And I hope I told him everything about it, but it's been a long time since I've been to basic training, so I don't really know if I told him everything about it. But I know one thing about it. I knew I had to make it through it. I knew that I had to. Quitting is easy, but it becomes a habit. So I knew, and that's what I told him. I don't know who said that, but somebody said, was it Bear Bryant? Somebody said that quitting becomes a habit, and so does winning. And so I'm very proud of him, and my other son, Emmanuel. Emmanuel is a top-notch photographer. As a matter of fact, lives in Colorado Springs now. He left Montgomery, and he said what he got when he got to Colorado was something he was trying to get for 10 years in Montgomery, and he just couldn't get it. So but he did what he had to do. He moved up there, and if it weren't for the snow, though, I might go up there too. But me, I am not into this cold thing anymore. I'm just not. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. I don't know how I got off on that tangent of doing that. If you think you have something to say this morning and you want to call us, you can. Share your insights with Montgomery. 521-2963 is the number here. 521-2963. I'm having. Yesterday was a city council meeting, right? Yesterday was a city council meeting. And after the city council meeting, I got together. Well, I didn't get together, but I had conversation. I got Dr. Joe there. I got together with some people about the mayor. And let's have a conversation about that as soon as we get done here. Hey, Dr. Joe.
Just wanted to know what you thought about the ICE raids in Alabama, particularly Elmore County and Auburn, Lee County.
I don't like them. I don't like them.
So you're. Let me understand this. So you're good with them bringing drugs into our communities, right?
Well,
you're good with that.
Well.
You're good with. Do you think we ought to give them a party and give them ice cream and cake for bringing drugs into our community?
Now,
what you're saying?
Now that's too simplistic. That's too simplistic.
Well, you're being too simplistic.
No, but nobody brings drugs unless somebody wants them.
If you're bringing drugs in, you are what is called commonly, without being too simplistic, a criminal.
And you are.
Criminal.
Okay, so, but again, are you telling me that everybody that has crossed that border?
Everybody? No, I didn't say that. You're being too simplistic by saying everybody that comes across that border. I'm telling you that those ICE raids, they captured criminals who were putting drugs into our communities. And you don't think that's a good thing? Hold on. You don't think that's a good thing?
Well, if you are absolutely sure that that's what they have.
They are absolutely sure. And they were money laundering. Money. Carmichael went to prison for money laundering.
Which I thought he got too much time for that too. But, okay. Well, 40 years. I mean, really? That's more than people get for murder sometimes.
Well, that's whole nother topic for another day.
That's a whole nother topic.
But you think we ought to give them an ice cream party and serve them cake instead of telling them that they can't hand out fentanyl and all those drugs into our community?
Of course we don't want fentanyl and all these drugs in our community. But I'm telling you that everybody that came across that border is not.
I'm telling you that everybody that came across that border ain't a criminal too. But the ones that are criminals need to go be
totally
shipped out and go to jail.
Yeah, I totally agree. But the problem is when you corral people like horses.
Well, listen, hold on. At one of the, I think it was Fultondale, Robertsdale. They went down there. They put some people in chains. They realized that they were not part of the of all that drug smuggling and all. And what did they do? You tell me. What did they do with them?
Oh, I don't know what they did.
They let them go. Go to YouTube.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Okay. Well.
Now, what did they do with the criminals? Did they give them an ice cream and cake party?
Well, no. But what happened here?
They detained them, and they will be shipped. maybe they'll go to Alcatraz.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. But on the other hand, we've got people working on that school. What city was that in Alabama? They worked with Elmore County.
Does it matter if they were criminals? Arrest them. This is what the American people voted for, Kevin.
Okay, and again, I'm with you. But listen. We let them in.
Hold on. Joe Biden let them in.
Okay, exactly.
Was it lawful for him to let him in?
He's the president. No. He was the president of the United States. He gave the.
Well, Trump shut the door, and what did he tell him? What did Obama do? 3 million to 3 million people.
Mm-hmm. And again,
he didn't go after the criminals. He just went after all the illegal immigrants, just the people that came here. What did he do to them?
Okay,
let me hear you say it.
Who did what?
Obama. 3 million people.
Well, I mean, again, they were humanitarians.
Humanitarian? Who's being simplistic now?
Well, listen. If you let me come in, then am I illegal?
If you come into my house illegally,
no, and you let me in,
and I can kick your ass out.
Right, but if you let me in, you can't turn
around. If I let you in illegally, you don't know. Tell me the difference between an illegal alien and a legal immigrant.
Well, I think you have to go through the process.
So I do too. Yeah, your wife did it, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why can't they?
Well, they can. But
listen, you were talking about the other day. Hold on. You were talking about the other day. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got plenty of room for them.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
Yes, I agree. For legal immigrants.
Again,
legal.
If you
Legal.
If you let me in, I'm not illegal.
It does not matter if you're let in illegally. If you're illegal.
Okay. Well, then
if you're a drug smuggler.
I totally agree. But listen, we keep blaming the drug problem on them when it's really us.
No.
It's us.
Hey, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Right.
So, if Americans, U.S.-born Americans, are smuggling drugs or dealing drugs, what should we do with them? Should we give them a cake and an ice cream party?
I think you. Listen, me personally, here's my libertarian side. If they bring them over here and people want to buy them, that's
so
the American.
You're good with people handing out fentanyl that kills millions of people every year? You're good with that?
But you're
good with that. Let me get you on the record. Say, I am good with people killing Americans with fentanyl.
No, I'm good for letting people determine their own destiny. If they want to be stupid and take fentanyl, that's on them.
So you're good with that. Okay. I got you on the record. You're good with people handing out fentanyl and killing people. Okay, I got you. I got you. I'm good with you.
Wait a minute. Nobody could sell it if people didn't want it.
Whoa. Are you good with them people, those people that shot people over the weekend? Hey.
Of course I'm not.
Why not? Because it was their destiny.
Because
if they want to shoot people, why can't they do it?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
If your neighbor does something you don't like, why shouldn't you just go on and shoot them?
Because that's not the American way. You got to give them.
Well, you don't think you think it's the American way to allow people to kill people with drugs?
Of course not. But again,
well, what do you think of the fentanyl situation?
Well, I've never had it. I've never even seen it. I don't know. I wouldn't take it.
Well, you've had a gun before, hadn't you?
Sure, got one.
Okay.
Now. But I don't go out and do wrong things with it.
Yeah. Those people with handing out fentanyl, they're doing wrong things with it.
And they are, but only because people keep asking them for it.
Well, people keep asking to get shot.
Well,
they do things that piss people off. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, Kevin.
Did you ever see the movie Delta Force with Chuck Norris?
I don't watch Chuck Norris movies. No.
Everybody likes it. Well, anyway, there's a line in there that I will never forget. The guy says, Americans blaming us for being a nation of drug dealers. Then he says, well, they're a nation of drug users. So we keep trying to blame everybody else for our problem.
Well, listen, I agree with you that if you take drugs, you're stupid. But I don't agree with you that it's okay to give drugs out and to give drugs out to kids. And by the way,
now, kids,
they're trafficking young children for sexual means and for also to
now that's worse than the drugs.
To make them slaves.
Right. That's worse than drugs.
Well, should we give them an ice cream and cake party?
Well, of course not. Of course not.
Well, then why are you against all this these ICE people going out and getting these people?
I'm against the way we're doing it. We look like.
Hold on. So you think we should give them an ice cream and cake party instead of going out and arresting them?
But it shouldn't remind me of Nazi Germany either.
Well, it shouldn't remind you of going to Disney World either, Kevin.
Well, that's true too. But still, this is America.
Ice cream and cake, or going and putting them in shackles and sending them to alligator Alcatraz.
I don't know. I just it leaves a bad taste in my mouth to see that.
Well,
happening.
Hey, go get you some mouthwash and rinse it out.
Okay. All
right.
Whatever.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. I think just philosophically, I find it reprehensible the way we're doing it. I just don't like the way we do. I understand why, I guess, but I don't like the way we're doing that. That's just, I don't know. That just was a bad taste. Here we are, one of the freest nations on earth. We used to be, and going around shackling people, because and most of them, not all of them, most of them are here because they're just trying to make a better way of life. So it is serendipitous, to say the least. Anyway, 521-2963. I mean, we make it so simple. Out there here illegal. Let's put them on the back of a bus and take. We let them in. Biden let them in. Not only Biden, shackling criminal. I hear you. I hear you. And again, we can, if that's what it takes for us to quell our conscience, if that's the excuse we use, if we can come to grips with what we see on TV, shackling people and stuff like that. If that's, listen, we can come up with all kind of excuses. I just don't. And again, I'm trying to figure out somebody who doesn't sell drugs, somebody who doesn't take kids from one place to another to use them for nefarious reasons. If they come in here for trying to find a better way of life, I don't have a problem. Now I will say, to be intellectually honest, I will say we don't know the motivation behind lots of people who come here. We don't know, and therefore I think that there ought to be a process, which is what the immigration process, to try to find out what they do. But I'm telling you, if they are drug sellers, that's because we are drug users. Now, I've never used drugs in my whole entire life. Never had marijuana, never even had a piece of alcohol, never had any. I got issues, but those just don't happen to be one of them. And we all got issues. We all, mine was Coca-Cola. Okay. And Coca-Cola is probably worse for you sometimes than some of them. Well, I know it's worse for you than marijuana. Okay. And, so listen, I would imagine that under every president, we have gotten people in this country illegally. But I don't think Trump says, open the door, come on in, we love you. I don't think he'd done that. But again, I asked the same question. What is the problem with plenty of people coming into America? Except, now, if we would go to work, we wouldn't have to do that. Okay. And it seemed like to me what we're saying, well, we'll let you come in, but only if you want to be a part-time slave and pick the tomatoes and pick the watermelons and pick all that stuff. I don't know. Here's what I think we do. And this is just me. Here's what I think we do. I think we demean the dignity of people who are coming over here to try to help themselves and at the same time helping us. We demean the dignity of them by making The only ones we want are the ones who want to come over here and pick our work in our agricultural fields. I would imagine there are people that coming in this country with hell of a brains, you know, artists, people who are mathematical wizards, things like that nature. And I realize that what's it, the B1 visa, something like that. I mean, I realize they got that stuff, but everybody don't have the money. And if you ever dealt with if you ever dealt with the immigration service, and I have, it takes so much money to deal with them. If you got somebody here that you're trying to sponsor, in case maybe, it takes a few thousands of dollars in order to do that. So they make it very difficult to do it legally. If you're from a country like Mexico or Nicaragua or Venezuela, if you come to those countries and you've got nothing, it's impossible to get through the immigration thing. It's impossible. You don't have the money. You just don't have the money, and they charge a lot of money. I mean, I remember putting $500 checks in this for this certificate here, $500 check with this certificate here, a $500 check with that certificate here. You know, they don't. Immigration should be easier than what we make it. Put it that way. It should be easier than what we make it. But if we find somebody, of course, that wants to come here and do us harm, do us harm, do our people harm, yeah, I say deal with them. But everybody that come across that border, and matter of fact, I feel bad that I didn't always think this way. I'm like everybody else. I get rid of them, send them back home. But when you've gone to a few places, when I went to Mexico one time when I was stationed in Fort Bliss, Texas, and I went to Mexico one time, and I was sitting outside of I think I was in Juarez, and I was sitting outside a bar. Well, I wasn't a bar because I don't drink, but I probably was in a bar anyway because it wasn't nothing else to go to. And there were families outside that were begged for money. And I'm not even joking with you when I tell you this. I gave somebody $1 because at that time I didn't have much rank, and I was just down there messing around. And when I came out, because that one person had gotten $1 from me, when they came out, there were about 14 people waiting for $1. That's how bad it is at that time over in those places. And I got to tell you, most of us so-called good Americans would have done the same thing trying to get here. Okay? Because I don't see Mexicali's. I don't think I see them complaining about us overrunning their country. Okay? As a matter of fact, I know there's one Marine who turned the wrong way and spent 2 years in prison down there. Because they thought he was, I don't know what they thought he was doing. I mean, can you really tell the difference between when you're in San Diego or can you really tell the difference? Sometimes you're on the back road, which country you're in? Probably not. I mean, unless you see a sign up there, you don't know. But anyway, so much for that. I don't like the way we're doing it. There's nothing going to change my mind what we're doing. I understand why we're doing it. I just don't like the way we're doing it. That's all. I understand it has to be done. I don't like the way we do it. I just don't. I'm the same way about that as some people were about what do you call that thing when you stop traffic? When you stop people on the road, what do they call those things? Roadblocks. Yeah, I didn't like the roadblocks either because you stop everybody to find somebody. Okay. Rather than finding the somebody that you're looking for, you stop everybody. And essentially, you tell everybody you're a crook. Okay? And I don't know. Good morning, David Graham. That's my hey David, you got to come on, and I'm gonna send you a link to your phone later, and you can tell people about your that's Veterans Wellness Center. You can tell folks about your fish fry or the chicken fry, whatever you got something going on there. David Graham is a nurse practitioner who owns and runs the Veterans Wellness Center. And if you're a vet, and not only do you're a vet, but they got a they got a system over there that uses electricity as opposed to other things that we use to try to get rid of pain. But I'm gonna send him a link. Hopefully, if not today, maybe sometime next week whenever we're gonna get him on, because they got a big old fish fry coming up, chicken, turkey fry, and all that kind of stuff coming up later on this month. That's free. That's free. You just get to go out there and eat all you can and have a great time. But David, good morning to you. Veteran Wellness Center. Hey, David, write your number. Write that number down for me so I can tell people how to reach you out there, because I don't know where it's at the moment. Okay, yeah, because you guys do wonderful work. And if you're an athlete, and you're playing football and stuff this weekend or this year for school, he can help you become better with a special kind of resistance. It's interesting. He got to explain. Yeah, he got to explain. I can't explain because I'll be messed it up. Anyway, David, send me your number or write your number so I can put it on the screen so people can call you. Veteran Wellness Center. Okay. If you're vets, veterans have a different set of problems because of the things we have to do in the military. And that's the number right there, 676-2797. And they work with you. And you can be from any place. We got people coming from New Jersey. They got people coming from other states to do business with them because the method that they're using evidently seems to work. And he's been around for about 5 years. But he can explain that to him when I bring him on, and we'll get a chance to talk about that. But if you got chronic pain, you've had it forever. You've taken a pill, you've taken a shot. They've operated on you. They've done all kind of things with you, and you still got the pain. You might want to think about calling David Graham at Veterans Wellness Center. That's 676-2797, 676-2797, and it's on the screen right there, so you're welcome to check it out. Okay, because they're really good people over there. And you know what? You don't have to wait forever to talk to anybody either. Okay, and I think if you're a state worker, if you work for the state of Alabama, you can go over there and see those guys too. I don't know if they need a referral for everything, but when you call that number, they can give you the right one. And of course, his address is 5911 Monticello Drive. That's right across the street from. There's a hotel, Costco, or is that Walmart on Sam's on the one side of that street, and then on the other side, going down Monticello Drive on the left, you'll see Veterans Wellness Center. So you can't. I'm just saying, if you dealing with pain, if you've been dealing with it forever, you might want to try something, because evidently pills mask the issue. They don't really get rid of the issue. And David can tell you about this whole electric thing in your body and all that kind of thing. I can't tell you because I'm not an aficionado in that particular realm of science. Matter of fact, I'm still trying to figure out what H2O stands for. So, I don't know much about that kind of thing. All right. So anyway, David Graham, thanks for joining us this morning, David. We appreciate you. We're going to get you on here next week, whatever, and let you probably Monday or so, and let you explain your system to people. So we're gonna do that, so y'all can talk to him personally, because I don't want to mess it up. Because if I mess it up, I say the wrong thing, then I want to sue a brother. Because he said he's gonna cure everything I got. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying. Now David and those guys can do it, but not me. Okay. Hopefully he's gonna be one of our main sponsors of our podcast, and along with a couple more people that I got on the hook. So we're gonna work with you. Okay. That's David Graham, and that's Veterans Wellness Center, VWC, Victor Whiskey Charlie. Okay. So y'all hang there. Okay. So make sure you give him a call, though. Really? Hey, we appreciate it. Listen, you do wonderful work over there, David. You do wonderful work over there. I've seen it. You work with kids, go to our high schools, make them stronger, make them faster, make them better. You use a special kind of resistance work. And I'm sitting there, right? I'm sitting there one day, and a teenager was sitting there working out. He just sitting there. But he was working out. I said, well, and he sounded like he was out of breath. And he was just sitting there. I said, well, why are you out of breath? You're not running. Evidently, his system it's a resistance thing. I don't know. It is a phenomenal system that the Veterans Wellness Center can do for you. So give them a call. Give them a call. All you got to do is give them a call, 676-2797. If you've gotten pain, you've had it forever, you may want to really think about going to see those guys out there. Especially as we get older, you get pain. That's just what it is. It is what it is. Okay, move right along. And I was going to tell you about this a few minutes ago. Yesterday, I sat with a local citizen, and all they could do was talk about how bad the mayor is. He's bad. He's this. He's that. Listen, I can't stand that odious party that the mayor belongs to. I can't stand the Democratic Party. Not the regular folks, but the people who are in charge of it. And I can't stand the things they believe. But other than that, I mean, the mayor is not. Listen, me and him disagree on many, many, many things. But give me the mayor of Montgomery that everybody has liked. I've been here for 34 years. Emory Farmer was the mayor when I got here. So tell me, and we were complaining about Emory. Emory would not let certain bands come to Montgomery. If he did, he also raided the adult stores when I got here. I mean, I listen. Okay, he didn't want bars around here that had naked people dancing. I mean, listen, that was the man. That's his call. He was put in there for what he believes, and that's what he did. So tell me, give me in the last 34 years, give me a Big C. The day's your birthday, man. Congratulations to you. We could do it. Do you mind singing happy birthday? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Okay, that's it. Happy birthday to you. How old are you anyway? How old are you? You got to be at least be 43 or something like that. I don't know how old you are, but you got a little age on you, young man. You got a little age on you. Okay. So how old are you? Big C? Tell us how. I don't know why people are afraid to say how. You ought to be thankful that you here. Okay. Always tell people how old you are, because there are a whole lot of people. Big C, 32. Big C, come on, Big C. You really just 32? Okay. I'm gonna go, because I don't know. You may be 32. I don't know, but happy birthday to you. Now Gary says Montgomery needs some jiggle joints. Well, I'm not opposed to not having them. It's kind of like from Honolulu to Montgomery to St. Louis to California. Nothing in my mind. Now, in my mind, there ain't a whole lot good come out of bars where people stand up on tables butt naked, showing everything they got to the world. So I'm not. I like some of Emory Farmer's philosophy. And of course he was a paratrooper like myself, so we didn't get along too good on anything, but we knew we had that in common. So we sort of agreed to disagree on some of the things. But I'm just trying to figure out, has there been a mayor, Bobby Bright lucked up and beat Emory Farmer? And I'm going to tell you who's partly responsible for that. I think that was Roberta Franklin. Roberta Franklin, who the queen of talk radio, who pretty much ran Emory Farmer out of the office. And Bobby Bright was the recipient of her efforts. But we complained about Bobby Bright too. Then next up was my good friend, my buddy, and I still like the guy, Todd Strange. Todd Strange was a mayor. We complained about Todd Strange also. So is there any mayor? Who do you guys want to be mayor that you don't think you complain about? I went in the front of the city council, I'll say about a year or so ago, and I said, consistency is a very important thing. We're going to get to your last night's council meeting too. Consistency is important. But I said the only thing that has been consistent in the 30 years I have been here, 32 years I've been here at that time, is no matter who the mayor is, somebody is going to complain about the mayor. Jesus Christ could be the mayor of Montgomery. Man never hurt a living soul, only does what's right, gives you great wisdom and sight. And somebody will complain about Jesus being the mayor. Okay? So people complaining about you means you must be doing something. You must be doing something. And I've had my little complaints with the mayor too, but I don't complain just to be complaining. I mean, give me a break. At least I don't think so. Of course, you probably think you're not complaining either. I'm not blaming the mayor, but the one thing the mayor and the city council have to understand, while they are not responsible for the crime, the individual acts of criminality by our citizens, they are responsible to us because of it. Okay. And there's a difference being responsible for it and being responsible to us because of it. Okay. So I'm sort of, I'm sort of in the middle here. They're responsible to, and when I say responsible to us, what policies are you putting in place to try to eradicate some of this impetuous attitudes and actions by our young folks? What kind of policy? And guess what? Yesterday at the city council, finally, after me whining for years, we need a curfew. There is no reason, whether it's a Friday night or a Saturday night, that a 17-year-old needs to be downtown. None whatsoever. There's just no reason at 12 o'clock he should be downtown. He should be at home. Somebody's home, but not walking the streets of Montgomery. And so finally, I believe we did get a curfew yesterday. I think we got one. Let me see. I got to call my favorite city council person here in a minute and see what they got. Anyway, and we're going to go through some of the. In the next hour, we're going to go through the city council thing there and see if I can find somebody that will come on and talk about that curfew. We've been needing the curfew forever. Okay, so we want kids need to be kids. They need to be at home. Matter of fact, sometimes 18 is too young sometimes, but because here's my problem. When I took my son to the bank a few months ago to get him a checking account, since he was 18, I got to be on the checking account with him. So are we telling me, okay, let me get this right. We think that it's okay for a kid at 18 to be out walking the streets at night, but he's not okay just to go to the bank and spend his own money, and worry about his own money. I say, what's up with that? So now he'll be 19 in October, and then I'm gonna give him his checking account back, and so it'll be all his. You can be on the police force at 19. You just can't carry a gun. So I don't know. We got some issues sometimes. Our laws. So anyway, so that's the accountability part. That is the accountability part of the mayor and the city council. What are you doing? What policies are you trying to put in place to stem some of this? We don't ever need to see a weekend like we saw this weekend. We don't ever need to see that again. Now, of course, we cannot, we can't have a policeman on every street. We can't have, you just can't pull up on people and stop them for the hell of it. Although sometimes I'm about ready to say, bring back the roadblocks. I'm about ready to say it. But here is the one thing that I'm just not sure about. The numbers are 521-2963 if you want to give us a call. it is the sheriff told me if they stop you, and let's say you got 5 guns in the car, 5 rifles on the back seat, they keep telling me that you cannot take those weapons from them. And I'm saying to myself, well, who needs 5 rifles in the car? I mean, who needs that? But he says you cannot do it under law. It's take their rifle because they got a right to. Again, if they're out in the open, that's one thing. You can have it, but you can even conceal them now. And I think the governor is wrong on that one. I think it may not stop it. And with our legislators, Reed Ingram, Hassel, and all those guys, I think they should fight a little bit harder to make these people accountable to carry these guns around. I don't know what as long as it's open and secured to your side, I don't have a problem with it. But I do have a problem with people walking down the streets of Montgomery with a MAC-10 or AK-47. I gotta. You cannot tell me the founding fathers of this nation planned for little Joey and Bobby and Bubba and Leroy to walk down the street with a rifle that could fire 50 rounds a minute, or more than that. You cannot tell me that our founding fathers wanted that. And and again, we have the Second Amendment, but the Second Amendment does not give carte blanche to anybody who wants to carry a gun. You cannot tell me that, because our founding father, had to be a lot smarter than that. I mean, then why not let the 3-year-olds walk around with guns? Well, for the same reason you ought not let 13-year-olds walk around with them, and some 50-year-olds don't need them either. But they have this fight. And listen, I'm a pro-gun guy. Kennesaw, Georgia, you have to have a gun in your house. It's got to be there. You can't. And guess what? The crime rate in Kennesaw, Georgia, has gone down tremendously. Okay, and so you can come in my neighborhood if you want to, start shooting. You can do whatever you want to, but we gonna shoot back. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, so the argument of the Second Amendment just. It's lost, I think, with every death of a young person, especially a young person that's not involved in any kind of criminality set in there. I mean, somebody tell me, is there any reason why any teenager, anybody, ought to die in their house by gunfire from outside? Is there any reason? Unless this is Beirut, Afghanistan, Tehran, unless it's that place, is there any reason? Is there any reasonable explanation for that happening? No. None. Absolutely none. I'm just so torn up about that, and like I am the kids dying in Texas. I don't know if the Corps of Engineers were negligent in looking at that issue, or the possibilities of things that could happen. I don't know, but we've lost 100 people that we know are dead, and we've lost there's 130. They said 160. It's 130 people still missing. So potentially we got over 200 people. That's kind of like Titanic loss. People because of a river in Texas. So I'm telling you, somebody was negligent, and the Corps of Engineers or somebody dropped the ball on this one. And I don't know if anybody should pay for this. You can't bring any of those people back. They found 2 girls who were sisters who were, when they found them, they drowned together holding hands. I just don't. I just, man, that breaks your heart. That just breaks your heart. Anyway, let me take a break, and we'll be back a little late. Well, give me 3 minutes. I gotta go get my milk because I left my cup of milk back there. So I got to have milk. Got to have milk. Okay, milk is good for the body. Okay, so we shall return in a few minutes with other subjects. We're going to talk about the city council meeting last night and curfew. Curfew. Isn't it time that we actually have one? I think it is. Yes, I think it's time. It should have been a time a long time ago that we had one, but that's okay. We good. We'll be back. Okay, we are back. Coming around 8:20, I'm going to have Aronde Mitchell, who is a member of our city council, talk about this curfew. I think before I start congratulating on the curfew, I think we got to find out the particulars of the curfew because I've learned a couple of things since I've been clapping my hands about it. it's really not a good idea to have a curfew if you can't enforce it. Which I think you could enforce it, but we shall. So about 8:20. Rondé Mitchell will join us live on the phone, and we're going to talk to him about this so-called curfew. And I'm now that I'm finding a little bit more out about it. Yeah, I can understand the word so-called curfew, but that's okay. We're gonna try to get some understanding about it, unless it was just an illusion last night, unless it was just an illusion. Anyway, yesterday city council meeting. One of the things they do over there that I can't really figure out. Yes, city council meeting. Let's say there's money that they give people, which I don't have a problem with that, because if I need some, I go down and beg for some too. They recognize the MAP Center Service House interns, and that's good. MAP is Ministry About People. That's Ken Austin, Pastor Ken Austin, and they do wonderful work over there. Do great things. It's one of the few, besides Hope Inspired Ministries, it's one of the few things that I know that actually they actually do things, and that's pretty good. Okay, they had some special reports that board me to tears, public communication agenda items, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what the consent agenda is. Consent agenda items they're not for discussion by the council or public, just vote by the council. If discussion is requested by council, item must be pulled from the consent agenda and discussed. Okay, so basically, from what I'm getting is this is a list of requests from people that you're not going to discuss, you're just going to vote on them. Verisoft, $111,000. Southern States, $100,000. Debt Book, $60,000. I don't know what that is all about. Bargainers David Williams, $234,500. Riverwalk Stadium. Okay, I think that's the new guy that's taking over something. I don't know. David Williams. He also bargainer. They getting $353,000 for the zoo. Robinson Associates, $84,822. What that's for? Oh, okay, for demolition and removal of 1110 West South Boulevard. Robinson and Associates again for demolition of 4243 Southern Bypass. Okay. I guess I don't know. Fun Times Productions, $67,500. Ferris wheel rental for HBCU weekend in October. So why are we doing that? I mean, I'm nothing wrong with that. I'm just wondering why we doing that for. I mean, Ferris wheel. Okay, that's a whole different story. Pate Landscaping is getting $51,547 contract renewal. And old business, ordinance establishing curfew regulations for the downtown entertainment district, and that was sponsored by, I guess Johnson. We'll at 8:20 we're gonna talk to our councilman Rondé Mitchell, who's one of my favorite guys down there. Always out there working. Spend a lot of time on TikTok though. Ordinance to grant a license to Midstate Signs LLC on behalf of Bethany Church to install a monument sign on existing structure with a setback encroachment of 41.5 feet of City Row at 722 Cedar Street. I don't know what that's all about, but that's one of the things that they had. That's one of the things they're doing. So I don't know what that's all about either. But they're working it out. Okay. Also, we have what else we got going on? Let me see here. We got application for a restaurant retail liquor license by the Best Seafood LLC, doing business as Wow Crab, actually, 2690 Eastern Boulevard. Okay, then. I'm not a seafood, I'm not eating anything that looks like a roach. We ain't gonna play that. Okay, no lobster, no crab, no crawfish, no, and the only exception I make is the only exception I make, I guess, is like, what's the name of that fish everybody likes to eat? The one that sets at the bottom the one that sits at the bottom of the water and eats all the crap that everybody else throws down there. What's that fish now? Catfish. Yeah, catfish. Yeah, okay. But I ain't too crazy about catfish anymore either. An ordinance authorizing payment by credit card to municipal departments. Another resolution directing mayor to execute an easement to Alabama Power Company for the purpose of constructing and maintaining power lines and equipment at new annex building at Montgomery Zoo. Okay, that's boring. Application for restaurant liquor license by Han Indo Incorporated, doing business as Indo Bistro and Grill at 1741 Eastern Boulevard. Application for a restaurant retail liquor license for Noodles Cafe, doing business as Japanese Restaurant, 8169 Vaughn Road. Application for a lounge retail liquor Class 1 license by XS Ultra Lounge, doing business as XS Ultra Lounge at 3420 Atlanta Highway. Got to find that. Resolution appointing Kenneth White to the Planning Commission by Councilor Jen Wright, replacing Frank Cook. Nobody will ever put me on a board that has some power and influence. I keep getting the ones that we don't have no power. Resolution assessing the cost of demolition of an unsafe structure. Okay, pursuant to Section 1153B. Pursuant to Section 1153B. Okay, and what's it going to be? And these are the places that are up for demolition. Okay, 1020 West South Boulevard. It's an emergency demolition. So got to get it down. I guess 359 Linwood Drive. Okay, and that's over off of Norman Bridge Road. Okay, resolution declaring public nuisances, authorizing immediate abatement and assessing costs of abatement of public nuisances and various lots pursuant to Chapter 12 of the Code of Ordinances. Okay, then. Council as a committee, public communication on non-agenda items to address the council during this time. City clerk must also be contacted prior to noon Monday. So if you want to talk at the city council thing, you have to make sure you get a letter to those people down there so they know you're coming. Okay, so they block you or something, whatever they want to do. Montgomery City Council enacts now. This is where we go. This is what Aronde is going to tell us in a couple minutes. Is this really a curfew, or is it platitude? Okay, okay. We're going to see if this thing is really worthy of us even discussing it. Okay. Okay. So we're going to see whether or not it's worthy of our discussion, or is it just something that makes us feel good, make we think that we are actually going to do something here. Okay. And I won't be surprised if it's, and evidently this is only an entertainment district. And I thought it was all over town, but evidently not. It's only the entertainment district of the city of Montgomery. And I think that's not a good idea. I think we need a curfew in this city for every district. Okay. Again, if you're 17 years old and you 18 years old, 17 anyway, and below, you have no business downtown at anybody's business on a Saturday afternoon, Friday afternoon, whatever the case may be. Anyway, hey, am I the only person that don't like fish that look like roaches, shrimp, catfish, lobster, and a lobster looks like a big roach. I don't know, but people be eating on them things like they are. They taste good. I mean, they look like a roach to me, and they got to be part of the roach family. I don't care what anybody says. Got to be part of the roach family. Lobsters got to be part of that. I'm just telling you, lobsters and crabs and all them legs. Anything that got more than 2 legs, I'm not more than 4 legs. I'm not eating it. Okay, I'm just telling you, I'm not eating it. No. I mean, it's not natural to have more than 4 legs. Okay, unless you happen to be in the water, I guess. Then you can. I guess you can kind of go, but it's not natural. I'm not eating it. Am I the only person think like that? Really? I mean, how many people out there eat lobster? Because you think you sedity in there. You think lobster makes you look sophisticated. It don't. It makes you look like you're eating a roach. Okay, I'm just telling you, it don't do nothing for me. Anyway, the Montgomery City Council implemented a curfew for unaccompanied minors under 17 in the downtown entertainment. Under 17, it should be under 18. The curfew hours are 9 p.m. till 6 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Councilwoman Marcy Johnson spearheaded the ordinance due to complaints from business owners about underage drinking and disruptive behavior. Police Chief James Grayboys acknowledged the potential enforcement challenges while stating that added rules are advantageous. Okay, whatever that means. All right, let me see if I can find my good friend. Okay, there he goes. Let me see if I can get him. I think I can get him. Don't you know? Don't you know? I think I got him.
Hello,
Councilman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir? I've been, this is Councilman Aronde Mitchell, whose district includes. Well, your district doesn't include downtown, do it?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm South Montgomery, so I'm going to be Troy Highway, Whitley Road, Virginia Loop, Narrow Lane, Bell Road, and Summer Taylor Road.
Okay. Well, but you are on the council, and anything you guys make, of course, affects all of us. I was glad to hear about the curfew, but then I started reading it, and I mean, it sounds good, but minors under 17 is a minor, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they've not approximated it, I think, until the age of 19 by the state of Alabama, I want to say.
Right.
So 17, they chose the 17 and under for the curfew.
Okay, so it said now on here it says minors under 17. So which means 17 is not included in that curfew.
Now, to my understanding, Kevin, I have to look back at it. I believe 17 was included.
Well,
but because I didn't vote for it. I voted no for the curfew.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give you a couple of reasons why I voted no on that curfew.
Well, I like to hear them because I'm all for. Although if you're going to leave 17-year-olds out there, then you might as well leave everybody out there. But why? I mean, I've been asking for one for years. Why would you be against it?
So first reason I was against it because it was just focused on downtown Montgomery. We have had issues with Rock and Jump. We had issues with the movie theater. We have had issues with Eastdale Mall. So it's not a generalized area that we're having issues with juveniles throughout the city. So that was the first thing that I didn't agree with on that curfew ordinance, that it was just primarily focusing on downtown.
Mm-hmm. Of course, now business owners, of course, have been complaining about the environment down there on the weekends.
Well, that was just recently, and those incidents that we have seen recently wasn't juveniles. Mostly, and that's why I asked Chief last night. I said, "Well, I'm a data-driven person. Give me some data that's showing that you are coming into contact or you are detaining individuals. Can you tell me what age they are?" He told me, "Well, most people that we come in contact with is 15 to 20. So you have, if we're doing 17, so you still have individuals that's 18, 19, and 20 versus that, you have those 15 to 17 year old. So that was another issue. Every incident that I saw that was posted on Facebook, every incident that I talked to an individual, these are not teenager or juveniles that's down here causing havoc. It's adults. It's adults that's driving fast. It's adults that's jumping on these scooters. It's these adults that's meeting up downtown to fight. So we're blaming a group of people that we don't have, just accurate numbers to say that, hey, we know for definitely this fight that was caused, they were 17 or they was 15.
But I will say, if we do realize though, if we having problems with grown people, then certainly we're going to have a problem with younger people. So if we eradicate that from the equation, doesn't that give us more time to worry about the grown folks who act stupid?
But let me say, we do things to reactively instead of proactively, because like I said, we make ordinance off emotions. Like I said, we like you said, we've been in the city. Glenn Pruitt tried to enact a curfew when I first came in. I tried to do a curfew when we first came in, and it was nothing that was proactive. It was always reactive to something that has already happened, and that's the only thing I'm saying. And I mentioned it last night. The state of Alabama have a daytime curfew. That means that kids during school hours should not be out. Kevin, how many times have you rode through the city of Montgomery? You have seen multiple students with juveniles with uniforms on, walking up and down the street, walking to the store, and that's my only thing. If we have a daytime curfew in place and we're not enforcing it, how likely are we going to be able to enforce a nighttime curfew? And that daytime curfew, it has a lot to do with attendance. We're big on absenteeism. Mm-hmm. And the city of Montgomery that's the biggest thing when you talk to anybody that works for Montgomery Public School System. They're saying having those kids in the building is half of the task. And if you see them roaming, if you see them out during the daytime, and we're not consistent on making sure that they're in school or making sure that we come in contact with them, I just feel that it's hard to do it at night, especially when you have a state like state of Alabama that you don't have to identify yourself. If I'm not committing a crime, I don't have to tell you my name. I don't have to tell you my age. So
and that's in the law? Wait a minute, that's in the law?
Yes.
You don't really?
Yes. Yeah, and this also says that if you pull up that ordinance, that first line in that ordinance, it says that that they do not have to identify, and that's another issue.
Who came up with that law?
Well, the state of Alabama came up with that law. Unless you are committing a crime, or unless you suspect me of committing a crime, we are no ID state. So I don't have to, unless you know for sure I'm committing a crime. But if I'm just standing in a group, you can't just automatically walk up to me and say, "Hey, give me your name and your ID." So there are some legal ramifications for doing the orders, and I had no problem. I just thought that we could have put that that ordinance in a committee. We could have got public input on it because there's so many facets of this ordinance. You have to get family court involved. You have to get the sheriff department involved because, like I said, if we pick a juvenile up, parent, they call Kevin say, "Hey, I'm at work. I'm not going to leave Hyundai. Keep them." So now our police officer have to find somewhere to detain. If you call out the juvenile to the youth facility and they say, "Hey, we don't have any beds. We can't house this individual until the mom or dad decide they want to pick them up," now we're taking our officers off the street. And I work truancy. And people don't understand. It's not like they're gonna go to court tomorrow. It's not like they're gonna go to court in 6 months. Generally, it takes us probably between a year to a year and a half to get it in court on truancy cases and also other juvenile cases. So, and it's not an easy fix. I know people saying, "Hey, let's fine them $500." It's still the discretion of the judge if he want to find them, if he want to just do court costs, if he say, "Hey, the parent come in there and say, 'Hey, judge, I was at work. I didn't know my child was out.'" So I don't want people to think, because I've been doing truancy, which is the same thing as a curfew for the last 15 years. So it's not as simple as people think, that just because you put it on the book. There's so many facets of this curfew, because if you go in front of a judge, and my grandmother that I'm staying with due to something that's uncontrollable about my parents, my 90-year-old grandmother come in the courtroom and telling the judge, hey, I can't do nothing with him. What you think the judge being sympathetic to that 90-year-old grandmother, which most of our juveniles nowadays are being raised by somebody other than their parents. So now you're going to penalize a 90-year-old grandparent that's doing the best that she possibly can. Child think the child is in the room, but he or she's jumping out the window or sneaking out the back door. So there are multifaceted to just creating a curfew. Because my thing is, let's get alternatives. What alternatives do we have for these juveniles to participate in that's structural? And that's why I asked the mayor, when it comes to getting these facilities, these gyms and these community centers back up. Let's do knick-knack basketball. Let's do late-night basketball. Let's have these community centers open past 6 o'clock. If I have to volunteer myself, the once a month to have, be in a community center from 10 to 2, I don't mind, as long as I know that those adolescents have somewhere safe to go and off the streets of Montgomery. So that should be our main priority. What can we do constructively to keep them safe?
And again, I may be telling my age here, but I don't ever remember a time in America when I was coming up that we had such a problem trying to figure out how to discipline young people. Politics has reared its ugly head in every facet of our lives, and now we have given the zoo over to the animals. I just never seen this before. So we can't ask a child who's walking around the street that should be in school for ID. So why have a law if why have a law if you cannot enforce it?
And so that's the thing that we have to look at it, and it's a question and that's why I said that we should have put it in committee. It's a question that we should have brought the legislators to the table and asked. And I've been asking for the longest for juvenile. For truancy. Truancy is just a status. We cannot lock a student up for truancy, because it's just a status. So that means that more than likely, if we go to court just on truancy, that judge is more than likely going to give that student a decree, and that decree just basically saying that, hey, I promise to attend school. So those are some things that we have to look at when it comes to, like you said, the state of Alabama. We have to start talking to our legislators about what laws do we want to see here in the state of Alabama that benefits. But like I said, we have to still consider the constitutional too, because people are big about violating anybody's constitutional rights. Just like with the open and carry, with the ID to carry. Some people think that, hey, listen, you should be able to ask me where my ID at when I have it. So there are some things that we have to look at and decide as a people, what do we want to see in the state of Alabama when it comes to our state laws?
Does our city attorney ever go to court for the city?
Yeah, so we have multiple city attorneys. They went to court for me on the cases that we had against the apartment complexes and the apartment complexes management company.
Right.
So they're in court all the time. Yes,
do they ever win?
Oh, of course we batting 1,000 if I can say.
It sounds like to me. It sounds like to me though. We another thing. The commuter tax. Whatever they call it, commuter tax. We call it a whatever tax is. Occupational tax. And here's what I don't quite understand. And maybe you can. Maybe you can. Now listen. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. I don't want to pay more taxes either. But you know what? Sometimes it's necessary in order to do things that we need to do. So if every town around us in proximity to us have commuter taxes, why in the world have you guys not sued the state of Alabama for being discriminatory against the city of Montgomery for not allowing us to have one, but everybody else got one?
So we are looking at it, Kevin, but myself and Councilor Pruitt talked yesterday about not taxing the city of Montgomery on everything. So we're trying to figure out other revenue sources. We just increased the garbage up to $5. So we're trying to be. We're trying to do something that will bring revenue in, because we don't want to, every time you turn around, we're taxing you. We just did the gas tax. So we, as the council, we have to come up with a line of revenue. So that's what we'll look at in this upcoming budget, because we already having people exiting Montgomery, and we don't want to see a bigger exit because we're doing occupational tax. We're going to try to do everything possible, but it will be a time that we're going to have to decide, you know what, right now we need to do occupational tax, because right now the surplus in our reserve is better than what it has ever been. We are trying to maintain what we have in our reserve. So we will have to come, because we want to do some big things in Montgomery. We want to bring like Birmingham has their big Coliseum, their big convention center. Montgomery is in desperate need. We have the Gary Coliseum, which you know and I know. If it's hot outside, it's hot inside the Gary Coliseum. Charlie Jenright has been doing a wonderful job on the Gary Coliseum, but like I said, it's time for us to build and bring something new and better to Montgomery, so we won't miss out on those Beyonce. I've been seeing everybody talking about the Cowboy Carter, so we don't want to miss out on events that we can have here in the city of Montgomery that will bring revenue.
The mayor said the other day when he was on with Roscoe that the budget's going to suffer because of some of the money that was taken away or whatever case may be. Listen, are you willing to do, because how about a beer tax, a sugar tax, junk food tax? I mean, we don't need junk food. Lord knows I don't. And if you don't drink the beer, you don't have to pay the tax. I mean, what's wrong with putting a couple of cents on a beer tax or a sugar tax? What's wrong with that? We don't need that crap. We don't need that stuff. Why not do it?
And I see no problem with it. But the biggest thing, Kevin, we're going to have to look at right now. $68 million has been held from the state of Alabama for education. We're going to have to look at MPS and see if that $68 million don't come to the state of Alabama. What will Montgomery Public School System be losing out on? So the city and the county might have to step in and say, hey, let's help our Montgomery Public School System. So I'm waiting to see, are we going to get, is that $68 million going to be released to the state of Alabama? Because if it's not, we're going to lose valuable programs that's really needed here in the city of Montgomery to get our students, because we're on the right, Dr. Bird is putting us on the right track for us moving Montgomery Public School System forward. And I like him being innovative and him being attentive, and also listening to the teachers that knows our students, knows our schools, knows our communities, knows our parents. So we will have to have a real hard talk if that $68 million is not released to the education department here in the state of Alabama.
Now, somebody just asked, why don't we have a toll road? If all them suckers over there want to keep coming to Montgomery and then giving us the bird on the way back, we ought to get something for it.
Now, Orange Beach used to have a toll road, and I don't know what happened. I'm going to do some research because Orange Beach took their toll roads down. They no longer have them. And I think the maintenance of that toll road versus the collection of the money that they were getting, I think it wasn't sufficient because, like I said, Orange Beach had it, and now they no longer have toll roads. I'm going to do a little research on it, Kevin, what it would cost, where would you put them? So it just have to be a conversation that we have to look at because, like I said, a lot of people are doing away with them. And I just have to do a little research. So when you call me, next time we speak, I have a little research done on Orange Beach and why they did away with their toll road.
Okay. But I do believe, now this is just me, if I'm on the city council, I'm voting for a sugar tax. You don't have to have beer, a liquor tax. I mean, you got to have gas because you got to get to work, but you don't have to have candy bars and beer. I don't see a problem in getting if we put a nickel on every last one, and we get some money.
What I do, Kevin?
Be bold, brother. Be bold.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to send it to the city attorneys.
Yes.
And if I'm able to do it, I will give you full credit. You hear it now. You hear it first. I will give you all the credit. I will call it the Kevin Else sugar tax. So
That's
people
right.
would be mad at you and know who came up with this sugar tax.
Right, because
I definitely will put it into the city attorney, and see if it's something that we possibly can do.
I don't think,
and like I said, that would be a stream of revenue.
It's been tried, and I think some places are having it. Again, I don't mind. Listen, we got folks want to spend hundreds of dollars on marijuana because they like it. So why don't we just put a marijuana tax in? Smoking it anyway.
And like I said, that would be a conversation that we would have to have with our legislators. That'll be something that would be a bill that Montgomery would have to sponsor and get passed. So that's why it's so important to have collaborative relationships.
Right.
That's why having relationships with your House of Representatives, your senators is very, very
well,
important.
we still trying to figure out who they work for. Okay, because it's certainly not us. Okay. Oh, one more thing. I got a solution for the immigration part and plus raise money at the same time. Okay. You want to hear this? Okay.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Put a $1 tax on Modelo. Okay. Okay.
I'm not a drinker, so what is Modelo, and why would we put $1 on Modelo?
Modelo is where most of my Hispanic friends like to drink. So we put a $1 tax on that. They'll be packing up the bags real soon, leaving town. I'm gonna leave that alone.
So who's gonna take those jobs if they pack up?
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, I don't know. Well, hey, then we might want to put a $1 tax on Colt 45 too and get rid of some of them. Anyway, okay, man. Well, listen, I think you were taking your time.
Oh yeah,
I do believe you guys got to be bold down there. You guys are not willing to be bold, and if that means something if that means putting your job on the line to make sure we get straight, then sometimes you got to do that. We're not bold enough down there.
Yes, sir. So
I love you anyway. You're like my son.
Yes, sir. Anytime you need me, I'm gonna pick up.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. Hey, I'm not scared to answer questions or take questions. So I appreciate you always calling. Thank you so much, Kevin.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Aronde Mitchell. He is our one of our city councilmen. Thank you, Aronde. Appreciate it. Again, we got to be bold. We got to be bold downtown. Okay. Now we got a curfew, but the curfew really is not really a curfew. Okay. It's and 17 and up, you can be downtown. 17 is one of the most craziest ages that you can be. I know it used to be there. It's one of the craziest ages. We don't need them downtown either that time of day. I mean, if you cannot vote, then you probably shouldn't be downtown at midnight. I'm just saying, you might not want to do that. Why do we have to keep taxing our citizens? Because we keep losing citizens. Okay, we keep losing citizens, and when we lose citizens, we lose revenue. Okay, and now look who's who, and when they leave, they take resources with them. Okay, now they may come here and still get that dollar from the state if they work for the state of Alabama, but when they leave, and when they leave in abundance, you lose money. I heard the mayor the other day saying how much money, how the budget's going to be affected this year because we haven't raised as much money as we thought as we thought it would. Okay, you can't keep, and if we keep our young folks keep shooting each other and all these kind. This is why you got to raise taxes on people because we losing revenue because people are making an exodus from Montgomery. I mean, it is what it is. So we need to, we need to, the city council needs to be bold. I mean, really, really, we having these same conversations today as we've had for years about Montgomery. For 34 years, I have lived here longer than I've lived any place in my life, and it's the same conversation. But the fact of the matter is, you can't ask the student, "Where's your ID?" You can't. I mean, he's not. You don't have the same civil rights as a student, as a minor, as you do an adult. But according to Arande, and I guess that's the way the law is, you just can't walk in somewhere where you ought to be in school. Where's your ID? So evidently, you can't you can't ask him. I mean, that's a dumb law. Okay, dumb law. I ain't talking about a guy who's sitting in a car going down the road. I'm talking about somebody who is in your city, who lives here, and you can't ask them, who are you? Okay, that's just crazy to me. We are never going to get this country this city under control if you don't know who people are. The other day, the mayor, I mean not the mayor, Great Boys yesterday, what day that was, they came to the meeting and they showed a bunch of guns that they collected. Okay. Let me just put it right here. Collecting guns does not do anything. Confiscated weapons does not make us safer, because all we are doing is confiscating those weapons, because we do it all the time. Weapons buyout, we do that all the time. People can still get a weapon. All that means is that now they got to replace it, and they will replace it. Because you can find, so confiscating weapon, although it's a good token of something, but it isn't the issue when it comes to safety. Okay, I just don't. At least I don't see it that way anyway. We still got the same problem that we've had. So although I'll give you 10 cents for the effort, but that's about it. That's about it. Showing me a bunch of guns on the table means that they shouldn't have had them to begin with. Okay, and the crooks are not going to bring in. Okay, they're just not going to. Good morning.
Good morning. I had a question on your MAC-10 comment. 50 rounds per minute. It's actually over 1,000 rounds a minute, but if that's a fully automatic weapon, it requires a tax stamp, and the city is allowed to detain that person if they believe that that's a fully automatic weapon until the federal agent arrives. Yes, we don't have a law in the state of Alabama yet that allows them to ask for the tax stamp, but I have weapons that require a tax stamp, and I carry my tax stamp with me if I'm carrying that weapon or accessory with me. So
so let me get this right. If you are walking downtown and you got a weapon like one of the automatic weapons, you're supposed to have a tax stamp. Now, that's supposed to be on the weapon or something that you carry in your pocket.
You carry it with you.
And if you don't have
fully automatic.
If it's fully automatic, now does that mean if it can be converted to fully automatic, is that the same thing as being automatic?
If it's something that's converted and it's post 1986 or either illegally converted, that's against the law, period. But automatic weapons are legal if they're pre 1986 and you have a tax stamp, meaning you pay the government your tax. and you're allowed to carry it. Even carry it open here.
Right.
If you don't have that tax stamp and it's not registered as such, that's a federal offense. And the federal agent has to arrest you for it. And you can legally be detained until a federal agent arrives. Question is, do the federal agents have time to come down? But they should, if you got somebody brandishing a fully automatic weapon. And yes, our police should be able to see and understand, hey, that is a MAC-10 and this is worth looking into.
Yeah. Well, we saw a guy with one, took pictures of him going down the road here, I guess about 6-7 months ago. And this conversation didn't come up because I didn't know any, the only automatic rifle I ever carried was the Kalashnikov and the M16.
Hope you wasn't carrying the Kalashnikov.
well, I had access to it when I was training on some of the weapons in the unit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, another question.
Yeah.
So let's say our MAX guys unit, determined that they got the guy that's been orchestrating many of the shootings in Montgomery. Let's say he was indicted by the grand jury. They get their warrants for 10 locations where he's used his criminal activity. Let's say SWAT rolls in, they find meth, crack, coke, they find 20 guns, evidence of smuggling and sex trafficking of young black girls out of the country. And they got 40 open warrants for people while they're there, so they go ahead and pick them up. But 80 were released because they're shown not to be involved in the crimes. That's pretty newsworthy and healthy for our community, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, but that man was separated from his family when he got arrested. That's a problem. Right? Or is that kind of what we do here? You're separated when you're arrested and put in jail. That's
if you got a DUI, they separate you from your family too.
I know. And especially if you've been doing all this other stuff I just mentioned.
Yeah.
But let's say there's a dude, let's change the dude's name. His name is Cesar Campos Reyes.
Okay.
He did the similar things to the above. And now you're worried about the appearance of the arrest. You weren't worried about the appearance of the arrest before. That was newsworthy. And now you're worried about it. So, that's what we're worried about, is the appearance of crimes based on people's race and things like that. And that's no wonder we got down these problems in Montgomery for this level of crime.
Well, and I hear you, but does it not leave
No, it does not leave any bad taste in my mouth at all. If he was black, if he was white, and all of a sudden because he is Latino, it's supposed to leave a bad taste in my mouth? Hell no, it doesn't.
No, okay. It just leaves.
If that's a white dude, lock his ass up, and everybody who was involved, lock him up. Now, you talk about illegal. You spoke about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And how many actually did the right way, came to the border crossing, sought asylum, right? Followed the rules, meaning there's also a process. And if you leave the process and decide to just blend in and the heck with the process, you have violated the law, even though you started off the right way. But you got 1 million plus people that are getaways, crossed illegally, completely, just took off in here. You don't know who they are, all this stuff. So how are you to say that all those people that are there, that they may have, you call it rounded up, but let's say they were one of the people with open warrants, if you will, that they did cross completely illegal, they did everything, and then they're being forced to go back or being forced to come through the process properly? Why is that bad?
Well, my problem, we don't get it right in this country often. When we put people in jail for years and years and years, then you come to find out, guess what? Oh, they didn't do it. A couple weeks ago, they let 3 people out of jail after being in jail for 37 years. Okay. And that's America, who supposedly has the best legal system in the country, in the world, I guess. Well, just because you tell me they got a warrant in another country, the way they treat people in some of them countries, especially Mexico.
I didn't mention warrant in this country. You went on to that. I mentioned you broke the law in this country. You either came in illegally, you violated the rule, you did all these things illegally. You could have come in the right way. You chose not to for whatever reason. More than likely, nefarious reason.
Probably because they didn't have the money
to walk up to the border crossing versus walking down the street and cross where there was a gap in the wall.
Well, let me ask something. If you go through the process, doesn't that cost money?
Not when you come in and seek asylum.
Oh, okay.
You're seeking asylum. If you do the right way, which is not seek asylum, and that's a different story altogether. That is legal as can be. But yes, that stuff's time consuming and expensive and too time consuming. But if you want to go down the road, H-1B visas and things like that, because I've had a lot of them working for my company in the past, and well, guess what happens there? Yes, you're getting a smart person, but the reason why they're using the H-1B visas is not because they're any smarter than U.S. people or that they truly can't find that number. It's because they're half the price. And then we complain about they're taking our jobs, and they are. But it would be different if it was competitive from an intelligence perspective. But what it is, it's competitive from a price perspective, and that drives down the amount of money that we can make internally. But then you can go back on the other side and say, well, that makes us competitive, maybe not internationally, blah, blah, blah. So that's a rat hole. But, in general, on this, the illegal thing and stuff like that, I got a problem. The last thing, I don't take a lot of time, the last thing is it's the drug user's fault, not the smugglers and all that mess. So we're okay with sex traffickers because there are people that want underage children for sex, so we're good there.
Well, that's
we're okay. Hold on.
We're
okay with. I'm going to go through these three, and then you address them.
Yeah.
So we got child porn producers, but because people want to view that, we're okay with the producers. And pimps are always good.
But there's a victim there.
Hold on.
There's no victim. Wait a minute. There's no victim. If you're taking, if you're taking drugs, you want to take the drugs. There's no victim there.
But that's not who you're focused on. You said earlier it's the drug user's fault, not the smugglers. If we didn't use the drugs,
right? It is.
So that's my point. It's not the sex trafficker's fault because people want underage girls overseas. It's not the child porn producer's fault because people want to watch child porn.
Well,
it's good.
Child porn,
and everybody wants.
But that's the victim. The victim is the child. The victim is the child being used for that kind of nefarious reason. But me taking marijuana or drugs and fentanyl, whatever the name of that thing is, that's on me.
It can be on you, but it's also, if you're a crackhead, it's on me because you're trying to rob everything from me. Because that's a problem. Now you have crackheads out committing crimes left and right for money, and we know that's a fact.
Well,
on every corner.
Again, but like the man said, if we would stop buying the drug, we figure out how to get this drug issue out of America, we wouldn't have the drug problems that we have. But people want to take them.
You're not going to stop people from seeking out pleasure, no matter what. So you have to cut off where you can the source. It doesn't matter what the pleasure is. It doesn't matter if it's sex, drugs, whatever.
Well, that's
always and always forever will be.
But there is a victim.
You're not going to get all the right out.
But the victim of the sex trafficking thing are the people that are being used to provide that service to the idiot, to the nefarious people. But taking drugs, that's you want to talk about free enterprise? You want it? I got it. I want to get high. Here's the money for it.
It depends on the drug. You're saying the same thing about fentanyl, killing people, dropping them left and right. That's
true, but I think they know that it's dangerous. I mean, hey, I just
don't.
Well, I mean, listen,
alcohol. If you're stupid enough to sleep on the street, passed out, getting robbed every night, you're not the most intelligent person on the planet.
That's true, but sooner or later you get wiser.
You get deader.
I'm hoping.
No, you get deader.
Yeah, or you get dead. Yeah, whichever one it goes. Yeah. Anyway, but
I'm just jumping on you for consistency. I want you to be consistent and not speak out for one side of your mouth. That's all.
I am, but again, there are victimless crimes, and then there are victim crimes.
Right?
Taking drugs.
So the victimless crime. So the crime with Campos Reyes, all that, and those raids that they did to go find him.
Yeah,
that was victimless.
Well, again, nobody makes you take drugs. I just, they just don't. I've never taken.
He was also involved in sex trafficking.
Well, again, then that's.
But you're fine.
No, that's a victim. You got a victim there. You got a child that's been a victim of a nefarious act, and right, that person needs to be handled if you can find them who did it. Absolutely. But taking drugs, I'm sorry, I don't care if they all take drugs.
So, but you're on the record saying that meth, crack, heroin, fentanyl, coke, pills, illegal pills, and gun trafficking, those are all victimless crimes in the city.
Not gun trafficking, because people will kill you with guns.
Well, people are killing you with fentanyl.
Well, that's true too. But you can't. You don't get killed with fentanyl unless you're trying to take drugs. Listen, at some point, you got to have responsibility for your own self.
Oh, trust me, I'm all about personal responsibility. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that there are victim crimes, even though you think they're victimless, they're not. That's why I just want to put you on the record talking about meth, crack, coke, pills, all that stuff. And you're telling me they're victimless crimes.
Well, I've had an opportunity to take all of those. Never took any of it. So yeah, you're a victim. You are you are a self victim because you put yourself in that position to take them stupid drugs, and whatever happens to you is on you.
I'm not worried about you that took them. I'm worried about what happens around you, who you shot to go get some money for crack, all these other things that go along with this.
Well, do you think if crack was free and people could just buy their own, I mean, people wouldn't have. The reason why it's dangerous because you got to pay for it, and they got to rob whoever they got to rob to get the money for. But we get out of this stupid war on drugs.
Fentanyl is only dangerous because you got to pay for it.
No, I'm just saying. Well, I don't know. I never tried it yet. but again, if we get rid of the war on drugs, and if they want to take drugs, make them buy a certificate to take drugs, and then we don't owe them no tax dollar treatment. We don't owe them anything. We matter of fact, we ought to have a city called Drug City. You want to take drugs? Go move over there.
So I think if you're going to go down your way of thinking, you also have to say that all these drugs are legal and regulated.
Yes.
Because making sure that you don't do things that are going to kill you or somebody near you. For example, fentanyl, and the way it's given and produced, you got a kid your own child walks through, touches the pill.
Yeah.
They're dead.
And I'm with you. Yeah. If we could regulate it some kind of way and let people have it if they want it, but with the understanding that you get no government services from us if you decide to take drugs.
Shoot, I'd be out pushing drugs, get them off government services.
Yeah. Okay, that's a conversation for another day, man. I forgot it's after 9.
All right.
Gotta run. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the time, bro.
Okay, appreciate it. Interesting. Well, I gotta go, I guess, because it's time to go. But it's an interesting conversation, to say the least. I don't care if people take drugs. They don't bother me. See you later. Bye.